Welcome to In This Body, the online event to support parents and caregivers with staying regulated, embodied, connected, even when things get intense. And today I have the honor of having Samantha with me. Samantha is a clinical EFT practitioner and Gene Keys guide, weaving the wisdom of the Gene Keys in her one-on-one sessions and workshops with clients. After using EFT tapping personally for over a decade, she naturally began using the modality to support her contemplation process. Devoted to the gentle path, she has learned how to be the grounded, nurturing presence for herself, and she now holds that space for others. Her dream is to have work that is fulfilling on all levels, to be in alignment with her deeper purpose, to be the living, breathing example of what's possible when you drop your mental defenses and trust the soft whispers of your essence. She believes EFT is a tool that supports this process immensely, allowing greater access to the deepest aspects of your innate inner wisdom. Thank you so much for being here, Samantha.
Thank you so much, Nadine. It's
Mm.
really wonderful to be here, and what you're doing is so important for
Thank you.
parents and
Yeah,
teenagers at this time.
thank you. So tell us more about who you are and what you do.
Okay. Yeah, so like the intro said, I have been tapping for over a decade. My mom was actually an EFT practitioner, and I was, I think, in college, and she introduced me and my siblings to it. My siblings are much younger than me, so they were in high school learning this tool. And I mean, my mom used it to help my sister and her boyfriend when they like were breaking up. Like it was really supportive and continued to be supportive over that decade. But I didn't really use it as much as I could have. I was, distracted by my own traumas and mind and patterns. And I moved to Seattle in 2018. And it was a really big pivot point in my life where I just really started to turn inward and really started to hold space for myself, to feel what I was feeling, to process what needed processing, to stop numbing and distracting myself away from my pain. And EFT was life changing. I started tapping every single morning. And in the beginning, I used a free app called the Tapping Solution, which is also a really great resource. They have a website with tons of information, and they have an app. I haven't used it in a while, so I don't know what the free versus paid options are, but it's a really beautiful resource. And yeah, just started with really general tapping on anxiety, on, emotions, on whatever was present for me that day. And then I found the Gene Keys, or they found me in spring of 2020,
Mm.
right before the pandemic started. And that was a period of immense isolation and self inner work. And I just naturally started to combine the two. I would be listening to an audio from the Gene Keys and I would just start tapping along to it because it helped me calm my mind, calm my body, allow me to absorb more of what I was listening to and ground it into my body. And yeah, after a few years of doing that, I just realized what a powerful combination it was. And also, from my perspective and from what I've seen, it's pretty unique. I don't think anyone else is doing it quite like this at this time yet. Um, but yeah, I did my EFT certification. So through EFT Universe, which is also a very good resource if you're looking for more scientific data and research, that is the hub and the place that has done all the research. And that is why it's called clinical EFT, because that is the one that is proven effective with all the different techniques that we learn. And it's really about getting to your core, your innate wisdom. And that's exactly what the Gene Keys is about too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working with clients for the past year and a half now, and it's been really rewarding.
Wow. Yeah, I love the combination. Before I dive into that, uh, what is EFT? What is
Mm,
tapping? Like for those who,
totally.
who are listening who just have no idea what this is.
For sure. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it's techniques plural because there are many different techniques that we can use. And it's similar science to acupuncture and acupressure, where we're using the meridian system. So we're physically tapping on the ends of the meridian lines, and this sends a calming signal to our body. So it allows us to get out of fight or flight, to lower cortisol levels. And so, as we're doing this in EFT, we also bring in some exposure therapy where we are literally speaking and talking through troubling thoughts, traumas, emotions that are present, witnessing what is and allowing it to be there, completely loving and accepting ourselves exactly as we are. And then as we tap through, the system calms and the neural pathways that are lighting up are able to rewire because you're sending the calming signal to your body. So it's really powerful for, if you have troubling memories that keep resurfacing or patterns, then you don't know why you can't break them. It can really get to the bottom of it. You can really tap into your subconscious, especially in a guided situation. There's a lot of tapping on the internet these days, on YouTube, which is amazing. It's great. And having an actual practitioner is very different because you will be able to get very specific about your issue and they can guide you into a place of being completely like relaxed, talking to your body, talking to your inner child, talking to different parts of you, where even for me, it's impossible to do it on your own. You
Yeah.
can't be the guide and the in the subconscious work at the same time.
So true. Yeah, yeah. And I love how you mentioned talking to your body. So it's being present with that relationship
Mhm.
instead of being out of that body and or disconnected,
Yeah.
dissociated.
Yeah. Our bodies hold so much wisdom and intelligence. And yeah, there's techniques just literally focused on the body where we don't even have to dive into any information or memories. We're just following the sensations. And eventually I'm like, okay, what is that? What does your heart have to tell you once you get to a place where you're in the zone? And you'd be amazed what comes out and what people can access from that point. It just shifts the whole perspective from, fighting against the body
Mhm.
to listening to what it's trying to tell you.
Yes, yeah. And for someone who's completely new to this, maybe you can speak just a little bit more on those tapping points, the locations and what they mean, maybe, or how they're connected to the subconscious.
Yeah, I can tell you a few examples because I don't actually have them all memorized as to what meridian points they're connected to because they found in the beginning that figuring out which point was associated with which emotion took more time than was necessary because you can get through all of the points in like a minute. So like for example, under the eye is the stomach and it's worry and among other things. And the side of the hand is the small intestine, I believe. And this is where we do all of our setup statements. This is where we say what is, and we love and accept ourselves. There's a point on the ribs that is for anger, and the lungs are grief. Yeah, there's definitely connections beyond what I can share here that might really be supportive to people. But yeah, for my work, I just tap through all the points. And we also have some eye movements, which are similar to it's that other thing called rapid eye movement
Yeah,
therapy.
for nervous system regulation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we have one of our techniques uses some eye movements as well that it kind of replicates what the eyes are doing during REM sleep. And so that really allows your brain to rewire the
Mm-hmm.
thing
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that you're sitting with. Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. And you mentioned the gene keys and combining the gene keys with EFT. Now, I'm interested in knowing about this. Uh, the listeners listening to this would probably have heard us and me talking about the gene keys many times before. So, but just like as a quick uh, summary, like what do the gene keys mean to you, especially you, and how are they? How do you bring them into this EFT technique?
So the gene keys is a living wisdom and it lives inside our body. It's, the full spectrum of consciousness and all of its many flavors. And for me, it was really validating to find. Um, it was like a remembrance when I started reading the book. My whole body felt it. I like at the time I was drinking a little bit more that I don't really drink now, but I had a glass of wine and I had to pour it out because my whole body was just vibrating with this frequency. Like it just immediately there was resonance and I just love all of it, but really the view on the shadow. I mean, there's so many different ways to do shadow work these days, and a lot of people talk about it, but this is such a gentle path. It's allow, accept, embrace. And the shadows aren't bad. They're not wrong. You don't need to be ashamed of them. They are perfectly designed to awaken your gifts. One of my favorite things that Richard says is that the shadow is the seed
Mm.
and the gift is the flower and the siddhi is the fruit. And it's all encoded. You don't actually have to do anything. Life will bring you exactly what you need to evolve if you let it. But so many of us are programmed into these shoulds of like, well, I should do this, I should go to college, I should get this degree. And we completely just disregard our own unique gifts and talents. We were designed perfectly and intricately. And this system really allows you to soften into that. It's not about just striving, it's really about an unlearning everything we've been taught and returning to your inner voice. And that is why the two of them combined, EFT and Gene Keys, it's both are about accepting yourself exactly as you are. And as you do that, your perspective begins to open and you start to find these unique ways that you're meant to shine and that you're meant to interact with the world. And we all have so much to offer. And yeah, like we're literally designed to work in harmony with each other. But if we're all trying to be something we're not,
Mhm.
comparing ourselves to, you know, everybody else, yeah, it's not going to work. We're going to be stuck in those shadow patterns, which we don't need to be. It's unnecessary suffering that we cause ourselves.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, so true. Uh, and you touched on so many things. Like, I want to go back to that acceptance piece, accepting that the way we are designed, that this is in us, and that life will bring us what we need for it to play out, for it to flower out.
Mhm.
So when we're trying to, like, okay, follow someone else's path or rules, or try so hard to be someone else,
Mhm.
what happens in the body itself? Like, what
Mhm.
i- if you can talk a little bit to that, just so
Yeah,
that, yeah.
I feel like, and this is just an intuitive answer, but I feel like the body knows. The body knows who you are. The body knows where life is leading you, where you're meant to go. But when our mind gets involved and starts to override the body's signals, and we don't listen to the body, I mean, it just popped into my head, my life's work, Jinky 23. Richard talks all about, we see an article on the internet that tells us we should drink, 20 liters of water, and then we start forcing ourselves to do it rather than just simply drinking when we're thirsty
Mhm.
or eating when we're hungry. And I know it is more complex than that these days because there's so many layers and factors, but if we can just like sit with that for a moment of like, what if I could just listen to my body? What if it wasn't that complicated?
Mhm.
And that's where EFT can really be supportive of like, okay, but I have this learned pattern or this story from childhood for whatever reason is stuck. And that is why I have these eating patterns. We can tap on that and loosen its hold so that we can better listen and better access the body's wisdom.
Yes, yes. And you actually answered my next question. Like, when our body is in distress, where we are upset or angry or anxious, and like we can't stop. It's like we can't help it.
Yeah.
So,
So that's why I love the Gene Keys so much and why I said it's such a gentle path. The most profound healing that I've found for myself has been in non-judgment, self-love. You know, like I said, when I first moved to Seattle, I was still drinking quite a bit and I was like eating, like binge eating to an extent. And I just started to watch those patterns with more awareness. And I chose to love myself, even in the midst of those moments of patterns and habits that I knew were harming my body, that I knew were harming my soul, everything, my mind. And I chose to love myself anyway. And it was a long process. It's not an overnight thing. But in my opinion, and for my body and my soul, self-discipline and pushing and forcing was not the way. Simply allowing the pattern to play out and witnessing it with love is extremely transformational.
mm, mm.
And yeah, it's a process. But again, EFT can help
Yeah,
smooth,
yeah,
smooth it
it,
a little bit.
it
Yeah.
does. Yeah. And like, what can you say for someone who is just afraid to go down that path? And like, at the start, sometimes the issues are so much, it's like a never-ending spiral down, like a never-ending well. But for someone
Yeah.
who is like is not even trying because they are scared of staying in that well for too long.
Yeah. Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is just you have to learn to love yourself there too,
Mhm.
to be with yourself there rather than completely numbing and distracting, but being in the darkness with yourself and trusting that nothing is stagnant in life, that
Mhm.
you won't be there forever. And sometimes you need support, and that's okay. Asking for help. We, in this time and place in society, we're again programmed to think that we need to do it all ourselves, and we don't. I mean, a lot of my healing has also taken place in women's groups, virtual, during, the pandemic. Having a safe place to be seen in that darkness is really, really powerful.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And sometimes you just need to move your body. You need to dance. You need to go for a walk, get in nature, do some yoga, like whatever your thing is, go for a run. Sometimes we just need to move the energy too. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's okay to sit on the couch in a hole and binge your favorite movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And only you know what you're resourced enough to do in that moment. I had a mentor once tell me, you know, when you have these patterns come back up, ask yourself, am I resourced enough in this moment to say no to that cake, to that bag of chips, to that TV show, whatever it is? And sometimes you aren't. Sometimes you've had a week and you're exhausted and, the kids are doing whatever, and no, you aren't. And that's okay. But getting really, really honest with yourself is definitely step one.
Yes, yeah. You mentioned being in a safe space where others can witness you.
Mm.
And that has been also very important for me in my journey. And
Yeah.
um, if, being able to just speak it out loud and articulate it, and then
Hmm.
it's not for feedback, it's not for anyone to validate you or to give you advice, but I
Yeah.
think is it part of the allowing that it's allowing it to be there.
Exactly. Allowing it to be there, allowing yourself to be witnessed in it. And that comes full circle back to my work with EFT, is that sometimes simply just having another person witness, and like you said, hear yourself say it out loud, it can shift your entire perspective. I mean, like, shame can't live once it's exposed and witnessed. It lives in the shadows. And so, yeah, in the EFT work, like most of the things that we're saying is just me repeating back to you what you've told me
Mhm.
again and again until it loses its grip, basically.
Yes, yeah. And I want to go back to that because I think you did mention at the start, you speak out loud the phrases that are
Yeah.
upsetting you while you're doing the tapping.
Yep. Yeah. So, I guess I'll just like a little bit of an overview. We start on the side of the hand with a setup statement, and that statement is simply acknowledging what is. So, even though I have this overwhelm or this anxiety, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. And that statement can be customized to anything. That's just the standard statement that we say. Some people aren't ready to say, I love and accept myself. And that's okay too. You could simply say, I'm sitting in this chair right now and I'm okay. Or I'm breathing right now. This statement is meant to be grounding and resourcing. It's not meant to trigger you. So don't try and force yourself to say something if it doesn't feel calming to the body. And we do that 3 times, just repeating what is, even though I feel this anxiety in my belly, noticing where it is in the body. I still deeply and completely love and accept myself, even though I have this overwhelm and I don't know why. Or maybe you do know why. You can say that too. I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. And then you just proceed through all the tapping points, and you could tap one side or both, just repeating what is this anxiety in my belly, keeping your focus there, this overwhelm. I don't know why. I'm okay right here and right now. Under the arm is down, top of the ribs, even with this overwhelm. And then the top of the head. I'm okay. So it can be really, really simple. Even if you don't know what to say out loud, tapping through all these points and just letting yourself think whatever you're thinking, that can still be really supportive and helpful.
Mm, mm. And uh, the question that always comes up for me is how long does this process take?
Mhm. Of course. I actually was thinking about that too because um, a dear friend of mine, and she's been doing some business coaching with me. We had a session yesterday, and she's a parent. And so she was, talking me through how supportive she felt that EFT could be because we're doing trading. So she's a client of mine, and I'm a client of hers. And we actually came up with a little sequence together that is just one time through the points. And it probably would take 1 to 5 minutes, depending on how long you linger on each point, or if you wanted to go through it a couple of times. But that's something I'm gonna put on a little PDF and offer um, for free for anybody who wants it. And that's something she's like, I could print it out and like put it in my car or like put it on the fridge. And that way, in that moment of overwhelm or chaos, she can just grab it and go through it. And yeah, I mean, obviously, the longer you do it, the more calming your body will be. But I understand that as a parent, sometimes you have 30 seconds or less. And you can also be tapping and driving, or tapping your fingers under the table at dinner. This just popped into my head as something I just recently read somewhere that most of parenting really isn't about regulating your child's system. It's about regulating your own. And yeah, I think that's really true is when you are responding from a regulated place rather than reacting in an emotional jolt, your kids can feel that.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It's your energy ripples out. If you are grounded and centered, it just
Yeah.
ripples out.
Yeah. And all of the answers are inside of you. You know the way forward to whatever the challenge is, but it's not going to come from that chaotic, overwhelmed, logical, mental, reactive place. It's going to come from clarity that comes when you can ground your body and calm your nervous system and respond from love rather than fear.
Yes, so true. Yeah. Yeah. You already mentioned you have a gift that you're gonna put in a PDF.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, it's just a little tapping script for emotional overwhelm. There's some spaces in there to fill in your own, you know, what's present for you. And yeah, I'm gonna put it on a little PDF that hopefully is easy to just print and keep with you, maybe in your purse, wherever you go, so that if you're in a moment of overwhelm, you don't have to think about what to say. You can just follow along with the script, and it's very simple. And eventually, maybe you memorize it, but hopefully, this can be supportive in the meantime.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'll put the link below the recording. And
Mhm.
do you feel that uh, for, you mentioned at the start that you learned this when you were young. So, uh, how do you feel about introducing this to young people and children? Um,
I think it's really, really important
mm,
for them to feel like they have a tool because And especially the children coming in now, I feel are just so sensitive. And the energy of the world right now is so overwhelming. And even if they can't name it, they don't know why they're feeling the pressure, the stress, they can feel it. And yeah, giving them a tool that, if they're at school and they feel like they want to hit somebody or whatever the thing is that they're reacting to, their emotions, if they have a tool where they can just simply take a breath and a pause and say, and for kids, it can be even just like so simple. Even though I want to run away to the other room, I'm still a good kid. And yeah, helping them have a tool to calm their bodies is very, very important right now, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Or
And
like
I,
something like a tapping before bed, calming the mind and the system. And this thought just came to me too. It feels like a way to connect with them too, because if you're doing a little tapping before bed together and they say, well, this happened at school, or, this is really bothering me, or I have this tightness in my chest, or whatever language a kid would use, that's information for you into their experience, which feels really powerful too.
yeah, it does. It can become like such a great connection
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
And we need more of those experiences in families. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And beyond families too. I feel like we're all, you know, we weren't meant to do it alone.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're meant to live in community and together and help each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think just thank you for showing up for your children and the children at this time and being curious about new and different ways to handle the emotional overwhelm of this time, because it's really, really important that we don't react from fear right now.
Hmm.
Just leading with love and leading with the heart and giving our kids the support they need.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This has been really, really valuable. And for me, not I'm new to tapping. I've not done it a lot before, but yeah, it's been great. Yeah. Thank you
Mm,
so much.
Thank you.